page for what we typically do in Midwest Elevation, the Facebook group, every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Central. We have these conversations to raise the collective consciousness, and every week we have somebody new who we highlight, a teacher, a healer, a creative, somebody who is doing the inner work to see the outer change. And today I am so thrilled that my dear friend Dyanne Kelley is here with us. She's going to be talking to us about the soul fire woman, awakening at midlife and beyond. So if that resonates with any of you out there in my Facebook land, join us for this conversation. Let us know you're here. Let us know down in the comments that you are here and can hear us in this wonderful tech day here in Iowa that we are having. So I'll tell you a little bit about Dyanne and then we'll get going. Dyanne Kelley is an Amazon best-selling author, award-winning speaker, creator of Temple Gates of the Soul Fire Woman, and a psychotherapist. She mentors women in reclaiming their true selves so that they can stand fully in their feminine power with confidence and soulful purpose. Through her Temple Gates programs, women heal, release self-doubt, feel confident in who they are, and return to themselves, their lives, and relationships, feeling strong, confident, and valued. A complete system and holistic process of personal transformation. Who doesn't want that? Thank you, Dyanne, for being here.
I feel like the interview's over now.
Right.
There we go.
Oh, we are just beginning, my dear. We are just beginning.
Okay.
Such amazing work that you are doing, this whole transformational process. And so let's just dive in. Soul Fire Woman, what has that experience been for you as a woman? Where did this soul fire that you have in you and that gift you want to bring to everybody that you work with, where did that come from? Where did that begin?
That's actually a great place to start. And there are many short answers and medium answers, long answers. And I think really I've had several defining moments in my life. And as I'm sure all of us have had, one being where I was a young mom, just doing my thing, trying to be perfect in every way possible. Perfect in my career, perfect at home, perfect in my marriage. And the short story is the whole thing blew up.
Yeah.
So it wasn't so perfect. And what happened in that moment was just the complete realization that everything I had been doing to be that perfect whatever didn't matter. It didn't matter because it wasn't working. And there was some spark inside that ignited and said, you have to save yourself. And so that was the beginning of the soul fire. And I just took it from there. So.
I love that little spark. And we all have that.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. And it gets that little spark, that little fire gets dimmed by, our roles, our obligations, things that happen, life happens, divorce, grief. I mean, we could go on.
Right.
And we lose that sense of who we are. So that's what Soul Fire Woman's all about, is reclaiming that fire.
That little flame inside and fanning it. I love that. And I love that you said, this idea of the perfect mom or the perfect wife or the perfect, worker, I don't know, whatever it is.
Right. Career woman. Yeah.
Right. Yes, career. That would be a great word choice. But the perfection, right, is the illusion. And I love how you said, none of that matters, because we were trying to do something that doesn't exist. There's no perfect. And it's different for what's perfect for us. and what's perfect for somebody else.
Exactly. And in that moment, I realized everything that I was doing was an illusion. And I had perfected this way of being
Mm.
to be loved and accepted. And, there was something that I was trying to get out of it. And it
Yeah.
was also in that moment that I knew that that had to come from within me,
Mm.
that I could not be dependent on those outside of myself to give that to me,
Yeah.
because they were not dependable either.
Right. There's some of that
Yes, some of
also.
that. Yeah.
But ultimately the responsibility is ours. The responsibility of that love and feeling of safety and what we create, the feelings that we create in our
Mhm.
lives, which isn't easy.
No, no. It's a journey.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's a journey.
For sure.
Mhm.
So for somebody maybe out there listening to us who is like, oh yeah, I remember that spark. This, they're speaking my language today. And how do I go about, you know, for some people, a lot of uprooting happens, but that's not necessarily, what's necessary. So for anybody out there who's thinking
Mhm.
or remembering that piece, that
Mhm.
flame, what would you say to them?
I think the most important place to start is number one, I call it a moment of reckoning. That moment when you realize what you're doing isn't working and you have to do something different
Hmm.
to save yourself. But
Right.
I think um, having that and trusting it and going with that, and then right along with that is beginning to tell yourself the truth. I was not telling myself the truth. And it took me a little while to get beneath that, like what was beneath that, what was beneath that, what is true right now in this moment.
Hmm.
And the truth of that moment was I wasn't strong emotionally. I wasn't ready to take the big leap and do whatever.
Yeah.
But I had the awareness of it
Mm.
and I knew my day was coming, and
That's,
I was building strength. So I was telling myself the truth, and then I started to build on that, and I
mm.
started to make decisions on that alignment with myself, knowing that that would get me where I needed to go.
Mm. I love that awareness and the just what's the next thing, and using that awareness to then create, whatever's next as a new thing, because you're not going to stick to the old pattern.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So that began the journey, and I did the 180. I worked in public relations, and I knew that wasn't fulfilling me.
Hmm.
And so I went back to school to become a psychotherapist, which there was a whole story involved in how that happened. But to fast forward through my own healing journey and then working with women all these years, I recognize that we all go through the same path.
Hmm.
We all follow the same path to healing, and then, well, I say stepping into our soul fire. So that's where my book came from, as I was
Yeah.
writing the path from my own perspective and my
Hmm.
own experience, and then what I could offer from how I did it and how I watched other women do it and facilitated other women doing it. So,
It's beautiful. Well, our work is similar in that regard, in using that writing path to heal. Um, and as you, I, well, and maybe I'm making an assumption, but as you were writing your
mhm.
book, not only because you had walked the path already, but what did you learn through even that process of writing that maybe you didn't, ultimately set out to be to teach, but it taught you as well in the process.
Well, I mean, writing the truth brings up a lot of stuff
Yes.
that you think you might have healed from, but when you're in a different place in life, you realize there are layers and that, there's probably a little bit more work to do there. Always, right? But I want to say what happened, the most important thing that happened for me was releasing what I wrote.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking about, different people in the book, although I was very careful and I didn't malign. It was, my truth or whatever. But I could feel myself shrinking in again. I could feel myself saying, oh, I can't. The first thing I did is I released it as an ebook because I knew it wouldn't go as far. Right. Then I rewrote it and I got brave enough to let it go. And I mean, I got some pushback, but I want to tell you the liberating feeling that you get from releasing that story. So I was still holding the story, even though I would say to you, no, I healed from that story. That's an old story. It doesn't bother me anymore. No, I released that story again. And oh my gosh, I just grew again.
Yeah.
So,
How powerful. Yeah, it becomes something, it's out there in the world. It, potentially takes on a life journey of its own, and allows you
exactly.
to then
Yes,
continue on.
exactly. After I got over the fear of releasing it, I immediately could see that it almost wasn't mine anymore. This story belonged to every woman who read it. And I say it's a universal story. Like I am you and you are me, and this is our story. And it became their story reflected back to me. That's why your interview last week with Serena resonated so much with me, because it's all about story, because this is story. And I say you are not your story, you are what you do with your story. And so much more.
So much more.
And so much more.
But being able to give voice to your story, whether it's, through writing or through speaking or through therapy or through, being able to give voice to that piece that, you want to highlight and then release, so that you can get to that next level, so that you can become that soul fire woman. I just love that title so much.
Thank you.
So wonderful. And this is the path you walk now with your clients.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just tell us a little more about that, how you've taken the work into this way.
Well, so that's how I created the temple gates. And there are four gates, and each gate has a portal, a path, and a power. And so you enter through the portal. Like the first one is the temple gate of courage. So you enter with wherever you are in this moment, whatever struggle that you have, or wherever you are, right? And then we work around through the gates, and the center is your soul fire woman, your essence of who you are.
And I love that. I love that. Having that map too, to figure out how to really, I keep doing this.
It's a circle. It's a map, right? So it's courage and truth, which we talked about, and integrity, and then wisdom, and your soul fire in the middle.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes. Oh, yay. We have some beautiful people watching. Everybody's loving this so far.
Well,
Yes.
I would like to know, oh, are you going to, I would like to know from them, like what were their defining moments? Have they had defining moments where they have shifted or, found their soul fire or know that it needed to be reignited or reclaimed, whatever language you want to use.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
If
Well,
they,
and like that quiet knowing where you just like there's something wrong here or something that needs to change or shift and you're not sure what it is, but
Mhm.
it's coming. Yeah, I love that.
And
Yes, several defining moments. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Tanya. Indeed. And and we come back to it again as we grow and learn and grow and have other experiences. So courageous. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see
So
what
can
who
I
would
tell you a story?
please.
Okay, I wanted to, you mentioned, we were talking about how important it is to find your voice.
Mm,
And that's one of my soul fire woman power principles
I
is
love
your
it.
voice. But um, that's a defining moment for me as well. And another layer in my healing is I got really sick with I didn't know what it was at first, but my heart was racing, I was sweating, I couldn't sleep, and it just went on, and my legs swelled up, and finally a doctor said, let's test you for thyroid, and sure enough, I had hyperthyroid. I had the goiter, my whole neck was swollen.
Oh
And
wow.
I automatically went and said, I've been silent too long. I've been holding it in and I've been silent too many, so I'll get emotional talking,
Yeah.
too many years. And this was way before I knew anything about chakras or energy medicine. Like I didn't know anything, but
Yeah.
instinctively I
Yeah.
knew that my silence is what made me sick.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. That's really big. That's really big.
It's
And
like I just sitting here like I'm like
uh-huh.
choked up a little bit.
It's true. And even though I mean you just said, you hadn't been aware of chakra systems or that sort of thing yet, but you knew immediately that that's where you were holding,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's where, we talk, and Dr. Tanya's here too. She's a healer. Um, she We've talked a lot about, and a lot of us do, how things, the emotional, like things that we hold on to can turn into the physical manifestation of disease, and where in the body you're holding that, and where but I find that your story is common, whether it's thyroid or chronic strep throat, or anything having to deal it very very often um, is related to that
Mm-hmm.
holding in,
Mm-hmm.
um, and releasing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because I'm feeling, and I'm just going to go with this here because
You
because
keep holding your throat.
I know. Well, and I find that when I'm angry, that's where I often have, I don't know what it is, but you can, like, I'll feel that the most in my throat. So like it's like everything clenches up,
Mm-hmm.
and women often have, like, where anger is hard to express,
Mm-hmm.
um, and anger is an emotion that can, where other people judge us, like, oh, we're just too sensitive if that's upset, making you angry, or you're crazy, or and validating that um, uh, experience in the ability to, and not be angry in like you know, there's the ways in which we are able to express any emotion, whether it's anger or sadness or loneliness, or, you know, and what's underneath, and how that can be released as you're telling your story.
Right. So you mean how we're socialized as women and to behave in a certain way and not express ourselves in a certain way, and for fear of, if we do, then we alienate or lose the people that we love.
Yes, that.
Yes.
Hitting it on the nose.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I love when a woman comes in and is angry. I mean, a client.
Right, right.
I think, you know what? I say, I'm so glad that you're angry,
Yeah. Wow.
because we can work with that.
Right.
We can work, because anger to me means that something has to change. It's information. All it is information that something isn't working in your life and something has to change.
Right. Right. That is so key. That's information. It's a signal. And so
Right.
you need to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is just talking about, and Chris, it's okay if you're here. We may be talking about women, but we all have, you know, we all we all have that spark inside. We are here trying to unite the feminine and masculine energies in the world. We need balance. We need balance. So thank you for being here. Yeah, it's a heaviness or a lightness that you can feel in your bones, he says, which is just that acknowledgement of where something is settling, whether it's heavy or light, you know. And I assume that the lightness would be something that's more positive, and the heavy.
And he's talking about like blocks in the body, or blocks in the body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yes, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. It's a great book.
Oh, it's a book. Well, that's the truth. Yeah, right. They manifest somewhere.
Yeah.
That's one of the chapters in my book. You have to feel to heal.
You do. That's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And we resist that so much, or we resist that so
Right,
much.
right, right. Well, yeah, and just like I said about anger, feelings are information. They're not the enemy, and you can't heal from here. You have to heal from here. It has to be from your heart, you know, from that deeper level. This can get you to here,
Right. Yeah.
but you won't be fully healed without acknowledging those feelings. And you know, feelings are like a slow motion wave. They come in and they hang like at the top a little bit, but they go out.
Yeah.
You're trusting that process, that if you allow yourself to feel, it's not going to be that way forever.
Yes.
It will go out. It will ebb and flow. It will.
Yeah, that's one of my key phrases for myself, for my children, for my students, for my clients. It's not going to feel like this forever.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you have to feel to heal, but yeah, it's not going to feel like this forever. Right. Right. And that process, I mean, so many people try to skip that process and try to, you know, I call it a spiritual bypass, which you might have heard that phrase. They jump to the spiritual outcome and hang out there.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not it's not authentic. It's not true if you haven't put the work into feeling and acknowledging and releasing and awareness. And
and how wonderful that you support women to do that difficult work.
I love it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well,
right. It's just, there's just no greater for me than to witness someone coming into her own power
Mm.
and doing it her way and really just, this is what I say in the beginning of my book. It's like I hold your story until you're strong enough to hold your story yourself.
Mm.
And that's really an honor
Yeah.
to be able to do that. So, yeah, it's,
So nurturing. Your clients must feel so held.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I love it. Well, before we wrap up, I do want to make sure we mention that you have a workshop coming up, which I am super excited about. Tell us what's coming up next
Yeah.
Wednesday.
This is called Wake Up to Your Dreams. And this came about because, I don't know, cosmically something's going on. A lot of women are having a lot of dreams, and I know how to work with dreams from from a psychotherapeutic perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and it can give you a lot of information and insight into your present day life. So can answer some questions for you. And not that, I mean, some dreams are prophetic and, like that, but most of the time, dreams answer questions about your everyday life. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just good information to have, and it'll be fun, I hope, and useful for people. So that's next Wednesday,
Awesome.
6 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay. Well, and we'll get a link. You'll let us know where to find it.
I will send you the Eventbrite link. Would that work?
That would be fantastic. And then we'll make sure to get that down in the comments for everybody who might want to join us. And I know that there's women out there too. Do you want to mention your Facebook group?
It's called Soulfire Woman Power. Surprise. Yeah, please come join the Facebook group. We do lots of interesting things in there. And I'd love to have you. Who can't see you, but I'm assuming I love to have you. Thank you for whoever's watching and whoever watches it on replay.
Yeah, we've got some beautiful comments in there. You can go back and see them when we're done.
And to you, Renee, for inviting me and for all that you do with Midwest consciousness and your own rebel writing and the truth telling that you do and healing work. But thank you.
It takes us all, right? It takes us all. Lift one another up as we do.
Circle of women.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dyanne. Thank you all out there in Facebook. If you are not in Midwest Elevation yet and you are enjoying the fact that these interviews have been live on my personal page for the last 2 weeks, make sure you go over and join Midwest Elevation. We will be back. We will be back again next Tuesday at 4:30 for another conversation to raise the collective consciousness. Join us over there. I will have figured out the technology by then, I promise.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you. We'll see ya.